The first 3 episodes of Titans Season 3 were very well done. Short version, the Joker may not be dead, and the Scarecrow may be working with him. We may not have seen the last of Hank, and let's not forget the post-credit scene from the Season 2 finale. Coriander's sister, Blackfyre, took over the body of this woman. Very high level. Jason went out solo in Season 1 and got caught by Deathstroke. Jason went out solo again in Season 2 and got caught by the Joker. But it turns out, Jason is still alive, and it appears that someone is using mind control on him. Now, Jason goes by the identity Red Hood. Just like Jason, Hank went out solo and got caught as well. One of Batman's prototype bombs was inserted into his chest, and Dawn pulled the trigger, unknowingly setting off the bomb right before Connor deactivated it. All Hank needed was a couple more seconds. If only he and Dawn hadn't got his heart rate up for a minute there. Very tragic, but hindsight's 20/20. Now, let's break it down and speculate. There's a lot to go over. When Jason called Hank, he told him that something was wrong with him and that he needed help. And in case you didn't catch it, Jason heard the Joker's laugh in his head in the very first scene of the show. So even though people think that Batman showed up to Arkham and killed the Joker, that is unlikely. Odds are the Joker is still out there and he is the puppet master. After all, Dick was confused why Jason had chemistry books since Jason isn't the biggest reader. Then Dick found out that Jason had a lab where he was producing an unknown substance which he took before he hastily went out and got caught by the Joker. So it's possible that that chemical allowed the Joker to use mind control on Jason. Similarly, just as Jason begged for help from Hank, Bruce begged for help from Dick Grayson. And in case you didn't catch it, as Bruce asked for Dick's help, the subtitles pointed out that Bruce's voice was trembling. So it seems as if the Puppet Master is inside Bruce's head just as the Puppet Master is inside Jason's head. And that may explain why Bruce buried an empty casket, because Bruce was being played. And if so, it ties into the King's Pawn opening. As Scarecrow told Dick, the King moves stealthily in the shadows while the pawns are sent into the teeth of destruction. If the Joker is in fact the Puppet Master, that analogy fits perfectly. He is currently using and even sacrificing his pawns, the other crime lords and the Titans, while he, the King, moves stealthily in the shadows since everyone thinks that he's dead. It's worth noting that Barbara convinced Dick to use the Scarecrow as a consultant, but for all we know, Scarecrow may somehow be working with the Puppet Master. Here's how. Corey was told that the Cortado crime family deals in synthetic opioids, and Dick gave Jonathan Crane a specific type of Mary Jane that was crossed with something. So I am wondering if it was crossed with one of the Cortado family's synthetic opioids, and if so, does that drug allow Crane to tap into some sort of mind control, similar to the way in which Jason's drug may have done? And while we are on the topic of tinfoil, in Season 2, Jericho began a second life of sorts inside his half-sister Rose, and Season 2 ended with Rachel going to the Amazons with Donna Troy's body, in hopes of resurrecting Donna since Rachel's powers had been increasing and she felt like she may be able to learn to do it. So that's the foreshadowing of a rebirth or second life. In Season 3, we were led to believe that Jason was dead, but it turns out he's not. That was another rebirth of sorts. Since show writers use a lot of parallel structure, we have to wonder if, just like Jason, the Joker is not actually dead. The Joker may have a rebirth, so to say, and to be clear, what I am proposing is that Bruce didn't kill the Joker. He killed someone else, and conveniently, Bruce bashed in the guy's head, which means that they may not even realize that the dead person is not the real Joker. If this hypothesis is true, here is a nice example of wordplay taken out of context. Batman killed the Joker.
It wasn't him.
So Jericho is living a second life of sorts, and we have the possibility of a Donna Troy resurrection. Jason had a rebirth of sorts, and we may soon see the same for the Joker. A lot of rebirths and second lives, parallel structure. So it begs the question, have we seen the last of Hank? If only he had Jericho's power to move into Crypto's mind, because loyal Crypto stayed by Hank's side until the very end. But that's a stretch, but who knows? Connor learns very fast, and Connor was created in a test tube. Maybe they will create a Hank clone. Next up, let's discuss Coriander's sister, Blackfyre. Blackfyre has some interesting powers. In Season 2, Blackfyre took over Fidei with some sort of mind control, so Coriander killed him. Then, in the post-credits scene, Blackfyre entered this woman's mind but didn't stop there. She then transformed her image from that of the woman into her own image. In Season 3, there was a clue that we may see the same thing from Gar. Gar usually transforms into a tiger, but he already transformed into a snake in Season 2. And in Season 3, Gar was looking at animals and thinking about which one he could be. But is Gar limited to animals? Or can Gar transform into the shape of a human, just like Blackfyre did? And speaking of Gar, it's worth noting that Gar was having a conversation with Rachel inside his head. She wasn't really speaking to him, he just missed her. But that was a cool nod to the reoccurring concept of mind control. Gar was pretending as if Rachel was in his head. But then we've got Corey's little incident. 3 times, someone entered her mind. The first time, she woke up in the middle of traffic. And the second time, she shot fire at Gar. Connor saved him, and then she snapped back to reality. The third time, she simply heard someone say, "Coriander." So it begs the question, who is entering Corey's mind? Someone good or someone bad? If I had to guess, the Joker has been manipulating Jason and Bruce, but someone else may be manipulating Corey. Maybe her sister Blackfyre, or maybe it's Rachel. Maybe Rachel is trying to send Corey clues. Another thing to keep our eyes on in regards to Corey is our friend Justin. Corey likes Justin, which may be a problem. First off, the Puppet Master has been leveraging people's children as a way to get people to do stuff. So even if Justin is not part of the Gotham plot, due to parallel structure, Blackfyre may leverage Justin as a way to get Corey to do something later in the season. Or, since Blackfyre has the ability to transform her appearance, we may see Blackfyre transform into a Justin clone to try to trick Corey. And last but not least, there's this kid here. In some way, shape, or form, he is going to factor into the story. This kid told his father that the 2 cops that stopped him were new guys, so I've got my guard up in terms of the Gotham police, including Barbara and this woman here, V. That's all I got for now. Please let me know in the comment section if I butchered anything or if I missed something. I'd love to learn from y'all. Thanks in advance, and I'll catch you on the flip side.